Over the last year or so, I've been experimenting with how to make a budget AR-9 pistol. There are not a lot of ways you can save money when building an AR-9, but one of them is using magwell conversions instead of building or buying a dedicated lower. I can assume that almost all of you have an AR of some sort already, and I certainly had plenty of spares. A product that caught my eye while I was getting this project off the ground is the Mean Arms EndoMag adapter. The pitch goes like this. It's essentially a mag conversion sleeve that goes inside a standard 30-round PMAG. The upshot is you don't have to do anything to a standard AR lower. You just swap the upper for a 9mm blowback upper and stick one of these mags in and you're good to go. What the EndoMag consists of is a fully assembled insert for a PMAG. You basically strip the guts out of a PMAG, stick the EndoMag in, and then put the base plate on and you're good to go. It also has a built-in round limiter system that you can clip with a pair of side cutters as you install it. There are a couple of pros to using the EndoMag instead of using a dedicated lower or one of those mag block conversions. Number one is that you don't need to convert your AR lower. Not only does that reduce cost, it means you can swap on an upper of a different configuration. The second big benefit is that you don't need to use different mag pouches or reload technique. If you have mag carriers or LBE for AR magazines, you can keep using them. And reloading an AR-9 using one of these EndoMags should feel exactly the same. There are definitely some cons to the EndoMag, however. Number one is that it's pretty expensive. If you buy directly from Mean Arms, they're $30 for one or $80 for a 3-pack, plus the cost of the PMAG. If you don't include shipping, that's a ballpark of about $40 per mag, versus Colt pattern or Glock pattern 9mm mags, which should probably be under $20 for an extendo. The second problem is that they are extremely undurable. The feed lips are plastic and the ejector is plastic. The feed lips of the EndoMag extend above and slightly forward of the ones on the actual PMAG. In my experience, it doesn't take very long before they get completely shredded up, which makes me think that longevity with the EndoMags is going to be very poor. Problem number 3 is that the ejector is in the magazine itself. If you use a dedicated lower or a magwell conversion, you will have an actual metal ejector built into the gun. Not so with the EndoMag. And as I stated earlier, it is also made out of plastic. What that means is if you remove the magazine while you still have a round in the chamber, you can't eject it. It'll get stuck on the extractor claw and you'll have to pull it off manually. This is a functioning issue, but it's also a safety issue because honestly, nobody expects a gun to behave in this way. If you try to clear this gun by removing the magazine and then racking the action, you will end up with a round still in the chamber. The fourth and most significant problem with the EndoMag, in my opinion, is that it doesn't fucking work. I tried these out with 8 different AR pistol lowers and 2 different AR-9 blowback uppers. I was able to get the EndoMags to feed some of the time with only one of those lowers. We're talking a Ruger lower, a SIG lower, 2 Anderson lowers, 2 Arrow lowers, and a couple more I borrowed off of friends at the range. I also tried 3 different adapters with 3 different PMAGs and had trouble with all of them. It's loaded to 20 out of 30, and still really hard to seat. Pretty sure that didn't go into battery, which is the issue that I've been having. There's a whole lot of drag on the bolt. And jam. So it fell off the extractor. We got this exciting pile up. There we go. We might have a round in the chamber now. Failure to do anything. Shucked around. The issue certainly seems to be that when using the EndoMag, the gun never goes into battery all the way, probably owing to those plastic feed lips. Is it possible this is a compatibility issue with some of the parts that I'm using? Absolutely it is. My best guess is that the problem is an interaction between the Spinta flatside 9mm bolt carrier group and the magazine. To put it in perspective though, I've ran several configurations of this AR-9 using the Spinta bolt carrier. This includes a 4-inch barreled upper, an 8-inch barreled upper, and I've used it with a dedicated Palmetto State AR9 lower, as well as with a KAK Industries Colt Magwell conversion for one of my normal AR lowers. I had some teething issues related to barrel length versus buffer weight. Those were not the fault of either the EndoMag, the KAK Magwell conversion block, or the AR9 lower. I'm sure there are setups that will run one of these EndoMags without trouble. The EndoMag is also what CMMG uses for their Banshee and Guard 9mm pistols. Mean Arms differentiates on their website between the normal EndoMag and the version for the CMMG Guard. I sure hope that version works better than the one I've been using. What it comes down to is that clearly this design is a little too finicky to be trustworthy. If you aren't prepared to go through multiple 9mm bolt carriers as well as potentially multiple lowers to find one that works with the EndoMag, this could be an okay setup for you. As for me, I got better value and better performance out of a Magwell conversion block for Colt magazines. And ultimately, I just went with a dedicated AR9 lower from Palmetto State, and that has been significantly better. The takeaway for me is that this is not the right place to try to save money on your AR9 build. I absolutely recommend you go with a dedicated lower for whatever magazine pattern you choose. I like the Colt pattern stick mags, but I don't have anything against Glock compatibles, and they're probably a little more practical anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.